Is it possible to have everything the world says you need yet feel like a dead end? Imagine a young man named Sam, living quietly at the very edge of a peaceful town. The air here is always still, yet Sam's mind is a storm of unanswered questions. He recently finished his high school exams, closing one chapter while staring at a blank page. Why does the end of school feel more like a steep cliff than a welcoming doorway? For most, this town is a sanctuary, but for Sam it feels like a golden cage. He spends his days watching the horizon, searching for a path that does not yet exist. Society talks about ranking and success, but Sam is listening for a much quieter inner voice. He feels like a high-performance car with no fuel and absolutely nowhere left to go. Every morning, he passes the old horse farm, wondering if true passion is just a myth. He remembers the legend of the man with the golden leg, a story of hidden expertise. Could a simple life in a quiet place hold the secret to finding one's true passion? Sam wonders if his ranking in class matters when his heart feels so completely empty. The pressure to choose a career path weighs on him like a heavy, invisible stone. Is he supposed to follow the crowd, or wait for his own inner voice to speak? He watches the horses at the farm, admiring their natural grace and effortless, quiet expertise. Perhaps the man with the golden leg found success by looking where no one else dared. Sam yearns to bridge the gap between his current stagnation and his future potential. Can a peaceful town actually feel like a cage when you are desperate to fly? He stands at the crossroads of his youth, gripped by a strange and heavy lack of motivation. Every sunset brings the same haunting question about what he is truly meant to become. He searches for a spark, something to ignite the engine of his dormant, youthful ambition. The silence of the countryside offers no answers, only more space for his growing doubts. But for Sam, this peace was actually the loudest silence he had ever heard. The exams were over, the grades were in, but the path ahead was a complete blank. We're told the next step is always university, but what if every subject feels like a mystery? For Sam, the classroom walls felt like a cage rather than a gateway to a bright future. Every textbook he opened seemed written in a language his mind simply refused to translate or speak. While others plotted their academic careers, Sam stared at a horizon that offered him no clear direction. He looked at the ranking of his classmates and wondered why these numbers mattered so much. Why do we value this certificate more than the passion burning deep within a person's soul? For years, he sat through lectures that felt like trying to read books in a dark room. He could not understand his school lessons no matter how hard he tried to focus his mind. It wasn't just a lack of effort. His brain simply operated on a completely different frequency. Every equation and historical date slipped through his memory like water through a rusted, broken sieve. Sam was not interested in any school subject, finding them all equally disconnected from his reality. The pressure to choose a major felt like being forced to pick a favorite shade of gray. Deep down, a small inner voice whispered that there had to be something more than this routine. He didn't want to go to any university, despite the crushing weight of everyone else's expectations. Does a degree really matter if you have absolutely no interest in the work it requires? He watched his friends celebrate their admissions while he felt the familiar pull of a dead end. To Sam, the idea of 4 more years of study felt like a slow, agonizing descent. He sought a different kind of expertise, one that wasn't measured by grades or standardized test scores. Perhaps he was like the man with the golden leg, destined for a path others couldn't see. He dreamed of wide-open spaces, maybe a horse farm where life followed a much more natural rhythm. His true passion remained hidden, buried under layers of academic requirements and societal pressure to succeed. He felt like a stranger in a system designed to mass-produce identical minds for a rigid world. The silence of the crossroads grew louder as he contemplated walking away from the traditional path. Every conversation about his future felt like a script he hadn't memorized and didn't want to perform. He wondered if his inner voice was the only thing that could lead him out of this fog. He refused to settle for a life that felt like a mismatched puzzle piece in a box. The world demanded a decision, yet Sam stood still, listening for a calling that wasn't there yet. This wasn't just laziness. It was a fundamental disconnect from the system itself and its rigid rules. Behind his quiet exterior, a storm was brewing, ready to break the chains of his academic past. Why does society insist there is only one narrow road leading toward a successful life? We are often taught that university is the mandatory next step for every ambitious young adult. But for Sam, the traditional ranking of students felt more like a cage than a ladder. He sat through endless lectures, yet he simply could not understand the lessons being taught. while others scribbled notes. The complex theories remained a confusing blur of words and numbers. It was not just the difficulty. Sam was not interested in any school subject they offered. History felt hollow, math felt meaningless, and every science experiment felt like a heavy chore. This lack of passion was not laziness, but a sign that his path lay elsewhere. The pressure to conform started to build an overwhelming storm of anxiety within his chest. He watched his peers chase degrees, but Sam did not want to go to any university. To the world, skipping higher education looked like a failure before the race even began. But why should everyone be forced into a system that ignores their unique individual expertise? Imagine the man with the golden leg, whose value is not found in a typical classroom. Some find their calling in the dirt of a horse farm rather than a library. The societal myth of the one-size-fits-all career path is finally starting to crumble away. If you feel lost, remember that many successful people once stood exactly where you are. Sam's struggle was not a personal flaw, but a common battle for the misunderstood mind. He needed to quiet the outside noise to finally hear the whisper of his inner voice. Finding your true passion often requires walking away from the crowds and into the unknown. The anxiety he felt was a signal that he was outgrowing the expectations of others. True success is rarely found by following a map that someone else drew for you. It was time to trade the safety of the classroom for the thrill of real-world discovery. This was the moment he stopped following the crowd and started writing his own rules. To understand Sam's paralysis, you must look at the gilded world he was born into. He wasn't struggling because he had nothing. He was struggling despite having everything around him. His family's reputation was built on a foundation of success that few could ever hope to match. They were officially recognized as one of the richest families in their entire local area. At the heart of this legacy sat a massive horse farm that defined their high social standing. This wasn't just a hobby. The property stretched across 20 acres of rolling green landscape. From the outside, Sam's life looked like the absolute pinnacle of comfort and social ranking. He lived like the man with the golden leg, gifted with every advantage money could buy. The stables were filled with champion horses, symbols of a path already paved for him. Yet, within those beautiful fences, his inner voice was becoming harder and harder to hear. Is it actually harder to find your way when you don't technically have to find it? For Sam, the family horse farm felt less like a playground and more like a golden cage. The bars were beautiful and expensive, but they were still bars keeping him from his dreams. People assumed his future was set, as certain as the rising sun over the pastures. He had expertise in navigating luxury, but none in discovering what truly made him feel alive. His true passion remained buried under the weight of expectations and his family's massive estate. Every acre of that land seemed to demand a future he wasn't sure he wanted. While others fought for survival, Sam fought against the suffocating comfort of his own abundance. Can comfort actually be a trap that prevents you from reaching your highest potential? The peaceful town looked on in envy, unaware of the quiet storm brewing inside him. But the silence of the crossroads followed him even here, amidst the luxury of the farm. He stood at the edge of his kingdom, feeling like a stranger in his own home. He needed to find a purpose that wasn't inherited from his parents' hard-earned success. To find himself, Sam would have to look far beyond the boundaries of those 20 acres. He realized that wealth doesn't buy clarity, and 20 acres is a lot of room to get lost. The heavy silence on the vast estate was finally broken when Sam's father stepped into the room. Mr. David, a middle-aged man with eyes full of hidden wisdom, looked at his struggling son. He knew that wealth and the 20-acre horse farm weren't enough to fill Sam's growing emptiness. The tension in the air was thick as Sam waited for his father to speak. Instead of giving simple advice, Mr. David handed Sam a mysterious list that changed everything. On this paper were 3 specific names, individuals who held the keys to a different life. Sam looked at the list, wondering why these 3 strangers were so important to his future. His father explained that these people would help him discover his own inner voice and true passion. It was time to look beyond the grades and find what truly makes a person remarkable. But there was another mystery looming over the family that Sam had never truly understood. Throughout the community, his father was famously known as the man with the golden leg. Why would a middle-aged farmer carry such a strange and prestigious-sounding title? What does a golden leg have to do with success or the ranking of a man's life? To Sam, the nickname sounded like a bizarre legend rather than a title for a humble farmer. Mr. David smiled. telling his son that the truth behind the name was waiting to be found. He challenged Sam to visit each person on the list to uncover the secret of expertise. This wasn't just a trip. It was a treasure map where the X represented knowledge, not gold. Seek them out, his father urged, and ask them how they found their own path to greatness. Every journey begins with a single step, and Sam's first step was toward the unknown. The quest was simple: learn the secret of success and the origin of that curious golden nickname. Sam felt a spark of curiosity ignite, replacing the paralysis that had gripped him for weeks. He realized that his father's nickname held a deeper meaning than he had ever imagined before. The air felt different now, charged with the possibility of a world outside the estate gates. With the list tucked into his pocket, Sam prepared to leave the comfort of the horse farm. One list, 3 names, and a secret that started with the legend of the golden leg. Sam saddled his horse and rode 2 kilometers across the estate to find his first answer. He arrived at the home of Mr. Andres, the first name on his father's mysterious list. How does a student once ranked 38th out of 40 end up with many gold medals? This was the man with the golden leg, a successful athlete who defied every academic expectation. Sam wondered how academic failure transformed into such incredible physical expertise and international sporting success. In their school days, Mr. Andres struggled at the bottom of the class ranking every single year. While others studied, he listened to an inner voice that told him his true passion was running. He did not find success overnight. Instead, he committed to a grueling daily training schedule for years. For 5 long years, Mr. Andres woke up every single morning to run through the rain. Every step was a battle against his previous low ranking and the limited expectations of his teachers. He focused on his true passion, ignoring the noise of those who said he would never succeed. The air at the horse farm felt quiet as Sam listened to the story of this journey. Mr. Andres explained that expertise is not born in classrooms, but through thousands of repeated painful miles. For 1,825 days, he ran without winning a single trophy or major race. His peers were starting professional careers while he was still out on the track, chasing a dream. Finally, after 5 years of daily, relentless dedication, he crossed the finish line for his first medal. That single piece of gold proved that a 38th place student could outrun the world's very best. It was not about the grades on a paper, but the fire burning deep within his soul. Success is not a short sprint. It is a 5-year marathon fueled by an unwavering inner voice. Sam stared at the medals, realizing that 5 years of hidden work created this legendary athlete. 5 years for just one medal made Sam wonder if he truly had that kind of time. If the athlete showed Sam how to work, the second name showed him exactly what to work on. We are often told to study what is profitable, but Mr. Thomas built an empire on simple food. Can eating and talking really be a business plan, or is there a deeper secret to his success? Sam arrived at a large modern house, the home of the man who owned his family's favorite restaurant. Mr. Thomas stood before him, a living legend who once struggled to find his place in the world. In school, Thomas was never the top student, famously ranking 39th out of 40 in his graduating class. His grades suggested a bleak future, yet his inner voice whispered a different story about his true passion. While others studied textbooks, Thomas obsessed over the flavors and conversations found at the dinner table. He proved that a low ranking in a classroom does not define the height of a man's potential. Like a slow-cooked meal, you cannot rush the flavor of a business or the birth of true expertise. Thomas spent 5 long years practicing his cooking before he even dreamed of opening his first small restaurant. He ignored the pressure to rush, focusing instead on mastering the craft that others viewed as a hobby. Would you keep going if your first year of hard work resulted in absolutely zero profit for you? During that first difficult year, Thomas sold his food but did not keep a single penny of gain. Many would have quit, but he understood that building a legacy requires more than just a quick return. His empire grew from the seeds of persistence and a genuine love for serving every guest who entered. Sam looked at the modern house, realizing that success often wears a different face than academic perfection. The man with the golden leg expected excellence, but Thomas found it through a very different, narrow path. From his humble horse farm beginnings, Sam started to see how expertise is forged in the fire of time. But Thomas's success did not happen overnight. It took another 5-year cycle of quiet, determined failure. Is it possible that the secret to success isn't talent, but a specific number of years? Sam sat on the horse farm, wondering how the man with the golden leg achieved such greatness. Mr. Andres, committed to training every single day for 5 long years without receiving any public recognition. Only after those 5 years of discipline did he finally earn his first shining gold medal. This 5-year rule wasn't just for athletes. It applied perfectly to the world of culinary expertise. Mr. Thomas faced a harsh reality when he earned absolutely no profit during his first year. He practiced his cooking skills for 5 years before he was ready to open his first restaurant. Both men ignored their ranking in the world to focus entirely on their own true passion. Why does the 5-year mark act as a psychological threshold for almost every major human achievement? To survive the wait, they had to listen only to the steady rhythm of their inner voice. Sticking with a dream for half a decade requires a level of grit most people never develop. Real expertise is not born in a moment of brilliance. It is forged through years of repetition. On the quiet horse farm, Sam realized that Andres was building a legacy with every single step. Likewise, Thomas was mastering a craft that would eventually allow him to feed thousands of people. This invisible 5-year law separates those who wish for success from those who actually achieve it. Most people quit when the profit doesn't show up after their very first year of trying. They look for a medal before they have even finished their first 1,000 miles of training. Sam began to see that his current confusion was just the beginning of his 5-year clock. If he wanted to stop feeling lost, he needed to start counting his years much differently. Are you truly willing to wait 5 years for the life you have always dreamed of living? Think about the silence of the early mornings when Andres was the only soul on the track. Consider the empty tables Thomas saw every night while he perfected his signature recipes in the kitchen. These weren't just years of waiting. They were years of becoming the person who deserves the prize. Success is a slow-cooked meal that requires a specific amount of time to reach its full flavor. Sam looked at the horses and realized that even these powerful animals required years of patient training. The 5-year rule provides a shield against the crushing pressure to succeed immediately in our world. Instead of asking when you will win, ask if you have put in your first 1,000 days. Expertise is a mountain that cannot be climbed in a single weekend, no matter how fast you run. As the sun set over the farm, the path ahead for Sam finally began to look clear. He wasn't behind schedule. He was simply in the first year of his own 5-year transformation. Sam left the horse farm behind, thinking about the 5-year transformation that now awaited his future. He had seen the athlete and the chef, but now he sought the ultimate winner of academia. Finally, Sam visited the third person on his list, the man who had actually won at school. He expected the home of Mr. Miguel to be the grandest estate he had ever encountered before. After seeing such immense wealth earlier, Sam assumed a top ranking always led to a golden life. He pulled up to the address, but the sight before him caused an immediate pause in his journey. Instead of a sprawling mansion, Mr. Miguel lived in a remarkably simple house that looked quite humble. This modest dwelling was far simpler than the grand estates belonging to Mr. Andres and Mr. Thomas. Sam wondered if he had the right location, as the surroundings didn't match the man's high ranking. He stepped forward and met Mr. Miguel, the legendary figure who had finished first in their entire class. During their school years, Miguel was the envy of every student, mastering every single subject with ease. He was the perfect student, the one who listened to every teacher and followed every specific rule. Yet, as they sat together, the smartest man in the room did not look like a conqueror. Miguel looked at Sam with tired eyes and offered a warning that shattered Sam's remaining academic illusions. Despite his high grades and perfect ranking, Miguel confessed he never actually became an expert at anything. He explained that being good at every subject had left him without one singular, defining true passion. Miguel compared himself to a Swiss Army knife, useful for small tasks, but incapable of cutting down forests. He warned Sam that general knowledge without deep expertise is a quiet mistake many top students make. While others built empires on specific skills, the class topper was still searching for his inner voice. The man with the golden leg and the chef had focus, but the topper had only variety. Sam realized that winning the academic game did not guarantee the victory he was actually looking for. Miguel was the only one telling Sam to stop trying to know everything and start finding focus. As he walked away, Sam understood that his fear of school subjects might actually be his greatest strength. After leaving the horse farm, Sam couldn't stop thinking about the man who once stood at the top. Mr. Miguel had achieved the perfect ranking, yet his simple home told a very different story today. While others built empires, the class topper lived in a house far smaller than his successful peers. How could the smartest man in school end up with the least amount of visible lifestyle success? The answer lay in a dangerous trap that many students fall into without ever realizing the cost. Mr. Miguel admitted that despite his high grades, he never truly mastered a single specific skill. He chased general knowledge across every subject, becoming a jack of all trades but master of none. This lack of expertise left him drifting while others like the man with the golden leg thrived. Think about Mr. Thomas, whose singular focus on one talent created a legendary path to personal wealth. Or consider the horse farm, where years of dedicated work turned a simple passion into a reality. Mr. Miguel represented the silent struggle of the generalist who lacks a defining deep inner voice. He followed every rule and learned every lesson, but he never found his own true passion. Society tells us to be good at everything, yet the world rewards those who are exceptional ones. Being ranked first in a classroom is a hollow victory if it leads to a stagnant lifestyle. The contrast was jarring between Miguel's modest life and the abundance found at the earlier stops. Sam began to see that academic perfection is often the greatest enemy of deep, specialized expertise. If you try to know everything, you might end up possessing nothing that truly sets you apart. This warning echoed in Sam's mind as he compared the lifestyles of these very different men. One man had the grades, but the others had the life that Sam actually wanted to lead. The secret wasn't found in a textbook, but in the focused intensity of a 5-year journey. Miguel's simple home served as a monument to the limitations of being a broad, shallow thinker. To escape this fate, Sam knew he had to stop seeking approval through a general ranking. He needed to find the one thing that would make his own inner voice finally speak clearly. True mastery requires the courage to ignore the noise and commit to a single, powerful craft. As the sun set, the lesson of the top student became a map for Sam's future. Have you ever wondered if your lowest moment could actually be the foundation of your future empire? Sam returned home, but his father had one final story to share before the journey continued. The mystery of the man with the golden leg finally began to unravel in the quiet study. Decades ago, David sat in a classroom, ranking 40th and last among all his high-achieving peers. While others chased high grades, David struggled to find his place in a world obsessed with ranking. He felt the heavy pressure of being at the bottom, wondering if he would ever truly succeed. Amidst the academic struggle, he started listening to a quiet inner voice that pulled him toward horses. Disaster struck when he fell during a ride, resulting in a severe break that threatened his mobility. A broken leg at that time seemed like another failure added to his already low-class ranking. But like a bone that heals back stronger, this injury was about to change his entire trajectory. To support his recovery, David wrapped his injured leg in a distinctive golden bandage that sparkled. That shimmering wrap earned him a nickname that would eventually become a legend in the local community. The golden leg wasn't a sign of wealth, but a bold statement of resilience against his setbacks. Instead of returning to the classroom, he focused entirely on his true passion for raising horses. What is now a sprawling empire began as a small horse farm with only a few animals. He traded textbooks for stalls, slowly building the expertise that no classroom could ever provide him. Every year of hard work added a new layer of success to his small, humble beginning. David proved that being ranked last doesn't mean you lack the potential to finish first. His father showed Sam that true success comes from following an inner voice, not a list. Does the world remember your rank today, or does it see the empire you built instead? The golden bandage may be gone, but the lesson of resilience remains etched in the land. The golden leg was never about the injury. It was about the unstoppable spirit underneath it. The puzzle pieces finally clicked together as Sam looked across the familiar green horizon. Suddenly, the 20 acres didn't look like a cage anymore. They looked like a grand classroom. What if the passion he searched for had been right in front of him all along? Are you brave enough to choose the path you actually love instead of the one expected? For years, Sam felt trapped by the pressure of ranking and the weight of academic expectations. He had looked everywhere for answers, yet the most profound truth was always waiting at home. The stories of resilience and grit finally began to resonate within his very soul. He remembered the man with the golden leg and the power of an unbreakable spirit. Success wasn't about a grade on a paper, but the mastery of a difficult craft. The silence of the crossroads was replaced by a clear, resounding sense of purpose. He could feel his inner voice growing stronger, drowning out the noise of societal pressure. Like finding the missing piece to a puzzle, his future suddenly became vibrantly clear. The horse farm was no longer just a business, but a canvas for his own expertise. He realized that true passion requires the courage to walk away from the gilded cage. It wasn't about settling for less, but about reaching for a different kind of excellence. Sam decided right then to become a professional horse trainer and embrace the family legacy. This wasn't a retreat into the past, but a bold step toward his authentic future. He understood now that expertise is earned through years of dedicated hands-on hard work. Every stable and every trail now whispered a promise of the journey ahead of him. The heavy burden of uncertainty lifted, replaced by the weight of a meaningful choice. He saw the horses not as chores, but as partners in his new professional life. His father's world was no longer a shadow to hide in, but a foundation to build on. Sam stood tall, ready to trade his academic robes for the dust of the training ring. The path was narrow, but for the first time it was entirely his own to walk. Sam wasn't running away from school. He was finally running toward his true craft. Why do we think learning only happens inside the sterile four walls of a university classroom? Education isn't about your ranking. It's about the raw depth of your own personal obsession. Sam didn't stop learning. He simply decided to change the entire curriculum of his life. He finally silenced the world's expectations and listened to the steady beat of his inner voice. The man with the golden leg had shown him that true mastery requires a focused direction. Now, Sam looked at the vast green horizon and saw a classroom without any visible borders. He realized that even the best education is useless unless it fuels your own true passion. To reach the top, he decided to dedicate himself to studying animals and traditional farming techniques. Every creature on the horse farm became a living textbook for him to carefully analyze and understand. He sought to improve his skills not for a grade, but for the sake of genuine expertise. What would you choose to study if no one was grading your progress or judging your path? For Sam, the answer was written in the soil and the movement of the powerful horses. He understood that learning is the engine, but his passion would always be the necessary fuel. His previous struggles in school were gone because he finally found a subject that actually mattered. The boring lectures were replaced by the hands-on reality of the farm he had always loved. He committed to the long marathon of learning, ready to spend years mastering every single detail. True expertise isn't accidental. It is the result of a deliberate and very personal educational journey. Sam was no longer drifting aimlessly. He was a scholar of the land and its ancient rhythms. His ranking among classmates didn't matter now that he was competing against his own past self. He was no longer just a farmer's son. He had become a dedicated student of the craft. Now that Sam has found his direction, it is time to look closely at your own path. Have you ever felt the stinging weight of a low ranking define your entire sense of self? Think back to David, who stood at the very bottom, ranking 40th in his original graduate class. That basement position seemed like a dead end, but it actually whispered a different kind of truth. Like the man with the golden leg, your deepest injuries often hide your greatest potential strengths. What if your current failure is simply the soil needed to grow your future horse farm? David's massive estate began as a small horse farm, built on the back of his persistent effort. Stop listening to the external noise and start tuning into your quiet, persistent inner voice today. Identify that one area where you feel most behind, because that is where your journey begins. Your true passion does not care about where you stand on a standardized academic leaderboard. Expertise is not granted by a diploma. It is forged through years of dedicated, focused practice. Sam realized that his future as a horse trainer was worth more than any university degree. Are you chasing someone else's definition of success, or are you building your own unique empire? Look at your lowest point and ask what it reveals about your hidden, untapped capabilities. Every expert was once a beginner who refused to let a low ranking define their worth. Your inner voice knows exactly which path leads toward your true passion and ultimate fulfillment. Take a moment to name your biggest failure and see it as a compass pointing you home. Even a small horse farm can grow into a legacy if you commit to the 5-year journey. Success is not about escaping your wounds, but about turning those injuries into your greatest expertise. The man with the golden leg proved that limitations are often just opportunities in a clever disguise. What is the one skill you would pursue if you stopped fearing the judgment of others? Like Sam, you must decide to step out of the shadows and embrace your specific calling. Your ranking in the world matters far less than the fire burning inside your own heart. Every empire begins with a single choice to listen to that small, steady inner voice. Today is the day you stop being a student of society and become a student of yourself. Sam found his path through the dust and soil, so let us talk about yours right now. Whose path are you currently walking as you navigate the noise of a crowded and pressurized world? So, what is your version of the horse farm, that place where your true passion finally awakens? Are you truly ready to start your own 5 years of transformation today, regardless of the ranking? Your life is like a vast 20-acre farm, so please do not let it sit fallow any longer. Stop being a mere student of society and start listening to the quiet strength of your inner voice. We often chase a ranking that means nothing while ignoring the expertise that actually defines our future success. Think about the one thing you would do even if there was no profit in the first year. Building your expertise takes time, but every hour spent practicing what you love brings you closer to mastery. Do not wait for a golden bandage to fix your life when you can build a golden leg. The man with the golden leg did not wait for permission. He chose to build his own empire. You must stop following the crowd if you want to find the unique treasure hidden within your soul. Every day you spend in the gilded cage of expectations is a day you lose your own potential. True passion is not found in a textbook, but in the sweat and effort of doing the work. The athlete and the restaurateur both knew that 5 years of focus could change an entire life trajectory. Imagine where you could be if you stopped worrying about the grades and started focusing on the craft. The world needs your unique contribution, not a carbon copy of someone else's idea of a successful life. Take the first step toward your own horse farm today and watch how the horizon begins to change. Success is not a destination provided by others, but a path you carve with your own 2 hands. Will you continue to settle for the safety of the crowd or finally step into your own greatness? The silence of your crossroads is not a dead end, but an invitation to choose a better way. Start building your golden leg now and show the world what happens when passion meets relentless daily practice. What is the one skill you are willing to master over the next 5 years of your life? Drop a comment below and tell us which passion you are finally ready to pursue with everything today.